Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. So we're going to be using this sketch. I loved the simplicity of it, but there was a lot of prep work for this one. So I'm going to break down the two different main things that I did, which was the sentiment and the inside of the card. So I have my circle for my sentiment, which I want to say my circle wound up being like almost 2¼ inch in diameter, and the scalloped circle that it's going to go on top of was over 3½, I think it is. So it gives it like a good 1/4 inch border all the way around. In the focal image, the scallops are really tiny, and I don't like that myself, so that's why I changed the look of it for me. And then right now I treated the circle with the anti-static, and then we stamped Joy to the World in Versamark ink. And now I'm using Ranger Superfine Detailed Gold Embossing Powder. And the powder, the treating it before we do the Versamark and everything helps for the powder, you know, the embossing powder, not to stick where we don't want it. So, and if anytime it does, you can use your fingers to wipe it away. If it's too fine or too close to your sentiment, then you can always just use a dry brush. And instead of using tweezers, which I found and now I can't find again, I just heat up a portion of the circle, then I move my fingers, my hand around, and then I finish heat embossing it. So this is what it will wind up looking like when we get ready to put it on our card front. Now for the inside, I cut a piece of white paper down to 4 by 5¼ And sometimes on the inside I will double matte, but for this particular one I just did in Versafine Black Onyx ink. I stamped the inside message, which is sorry, may the true meaning of Christmas bring you lasting joy. And once I stamped it in the Versafine, I grabbed the clear embossing powder, so that way it would give it a little bit of a raised feeling. Now on some of the cards I did use black embossing powder, which just makes the black more intense. I just stamped it twice to try to make the black more intense from the get-go, and then used the clear embossing powder. I just like the way the clear embossing powder didn't seem like it went everywhere. So I'd already pre-scored my card. It was 4¼ by 11, scored at 5½ to make a top folding card. Once I got the inside sentiment in, this well, I guess you would call it like the base piece, is an 1/8 of an inch short. So it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And these two pieces I cut at 1 inch. This one is 1 inch by 5 inch. And the smaller piece I cut to 4 by 1 inch. And you can see here we're lining those up like how we saw them on the photo. And then on this rectangle square, I just grabbed my stitch dies, and I found the one that would just, that would fit the best on the front of the card, on the card front to match the sketch that we were doing. The bigger one, which the circle itself would have fit better on, that particular one was too big, so I went smaller. And then, I know I probably did it real quick, but there is some gold thread that's on the side. I didn't attach the sentiment there because the focal point is our sentiment. So instead of doing two, I just left the gold thread by itself just to help tie in with the gold embossing, even though like the pattern paper I used had the gold or silver foil. I like gold and silver together. It doesn't bother me. But I just wanted to, show you guys that. And we added the Nouveau drops. And the thing that I did at the very end was just tap it so that way it would kind of settle. At this point, I'm taking the envelope to show you guys something else that you can possibly do. I have one of the sentiments, or like flourish stamps that was in the set where I got the sentiment from. And I did the Versamark again after I treated it with the embossing EK Success powder. And then we're using the same gold embossing powder. And on the back of the envelope, it just gives it a little bit of something that matches with the card. And you can see here I have done multiple cards. I only showed the one on camera and the one envelope, but this the sketches that we do, they really do tend to make it easy for mass producing. And I wind up using this particular card for a lady that asked me for some Christmas cards. So I made 20 of these cards using this paper pad, part of the 48 paper pad and the 6.5 by 6.5. So Christmas cards, you don't have to worry. Find you a nice easy sketch and you can like produce a bunch at one time. So thanks again for joining me. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. If you haven't seen any previous sketch videos, just click here and we'll see you with our next one this Sunday. Thank you guys so much and have a great day.